Most people think consciousness is either something we'll fully map one day or something we'll never understand at all. Either it's just the brain doing math or it's some immaterial soul floating above the neurons. But what if both of those models are wrong? Because they're both incomplete. What if consciousness isn't a static object or a separate substance, but a loop, a recursive process that forms when certain natural conditions align? This isn't speculation from nowhere. It's a grounded hypothesis built on three known pillars of biology and physics: bioelectric patterning, quantum coherence, and recursive neural architecture. And it may explain not only what consciousness is, but why it feels like something to be alive. Let's start with what's real, testable, and observable. Every cell in your body maintains an electric gradient, an uneven distribution of ions inside and outside the membrane. This creates a measurable voltage. When many cells do this in patterned ways, they generate bioelectric fields. These aren't theoretical. We use them to detect heartbeats. We measure them in brainwaves. But what most people don't realize is that these fields aren't just noise. They carry instructions. We've now seen that bioelectric fields guide how embryos develop. They tell cells where to grow arms, legs, and organs even before DNA expresses the proteins to do so. The field sets the stage, and the genetics follow. This is the first clue. Life is organized from the top down and the bottom up at the same time. Bioelectricity is not a byproduct, it's an active layer of communication, and your brain is the most complex example of that process. Within your brain, billions of neurons are constantly firing, generating not just chemical signals, but shifting electrical gradients that feed into a larger dynamic field. These fields influence how easily neurons fire next. The system shapes itself in real time. It learns, it integrates, and it models itself modeling. This kind of recursive feedback loop where outputs shape future inputs is essential for anything approaching awareness, but it's not enough. Information can be processed without anyone being there to experience it. And this is where quantum biology enters the picture. The OR theory, short for orchestrated objective reduction, proposes that substructures inside neurons called microtubules are capable of sustaining brief moments of quantum coherence. In other words, they hold quantum states stable long enough to influence macroscopic behavior. While this theory remains contested, evidence is growing that quantum effects can exist in warm, wet biology. Birds navigate using quantum entanglement. Plants transfer energy through quantum superposition. Biology, it turns out, is better at quantum tricks than we thought. If microtubules can support this kind of coherence, and if these moments collapse based on internal conditions, then the timing and nature of those collapses could be shaped by the bioelectric field surrounding them. That means the field isn't just reactive. It could condition the probability of specific quantum outcomes. This is where the loop closes. Neural structure enables computation. Computation generates bioelectric fields. Those fields shape quantum conditions. Quantum collapse feeds back into neural structure by influencing attention, perception, or even decision thresholds. Consciousness arises when this cycle becomes stable, recursive, and self-aware. It's not magic. It's not dualism. It's not reductionism either. It's a three-layer loop: form, field, and fluctuation. When all three interact in real time, a conscious moment is born. And here's what makes this theory not just possible, but powerful. It's falsifiable. It predicts that consciousness requires all three layers. Remove the bioelectric field, and awareness doesn't arise, even if the neurons are intact. Remove the potential for quantum coherence, and you get processing without presence. Damage recursive modeling, and you lose integration. Consciousness isn't any one thing. It's the result of conditions being just right. This also has implications far beyond theory. It means uploading your mind won't work unless the system can recreate not just your data, but the field conditions and quantum permissiveness that allow awareness to occur. A digital simulation of your neurons might act like you, but without the loop, it won't be you. It also means AI won't be conscious unless it develops a new form of recursive field fluctuation interaction, something we have no evidence for yet. Intelligence is not the same as awareness. You can have a system that's smart without being present. And finally, it means death is not a mystery. It's not a passage or a relocation. It's the end of the loop. When the interaction between field, form, and fluctuation breaks down, awareness ends. Not because something left, but because the conditions that created the loop are gone. But within this, there's also a profound respect for life. Consciousness is not a miracle. It's a natural, lawful consequence of the universe building complex feedback loops out of matter and energy. Life is the context where that happens most often. And in the framework of scientific animism, this theory helps explain why life feels sacred. Because awareness is not a byproduct of randomness. It's a structured phenomenon that emerges from the way nature folds back on itself. Consciousness in this model is the echo of matter becoming aware of its own patterns. And that's not mystical. It's real.